The Kingdom of the Suebi. The Kingdom of the Suebi, also called the Kingdom of Galicia, or Suebi Kingdom of Galicia, was a Germanic post-Roman kingdom that was one of the first to separate from the Roman Empire. Based on its former Roman provinces of Galicia and northern Lusitania, the de facto kingdom was established by the Suebi around about 409, and during the 6th century it became a formally declared kingdom identifying with Galicia. It maintained its independence until 585, when it was annexed by the Visigoths and turned into the sixth province of the Visigoth kingdom in Hispania. Origins. Little is known about the Suebi, who crossed the Rhine on the night of the 31st of December 406 AD and entered the Roman Empire. It is speculated that the Suebi are the same group as the Quadi, who were mentioned in the early writings as living north of the middle of the Danube and is what is now known as Astoria and western Slovakia, and who played an important part in the Germanic wars of the 2nd century. When allied with the Macromonii, they fought fiercely against the Romans under the Marcus Aurelius. The main reason behind the identification of the Suebi and the Quadi as the same group comes from a letter written by Saint Jerome to Agoracea, listing the invaders of 406 crossing into Gaul, in which the Quadi are listed as and the Suebi are not. The argument for this theory, however, is based solely on the disappearance of the Quadi in the text and the emergence of the Suebi, which conflicts with the testimony of other contemporary authors such as Orosius, who did indeed cite that Suebi among the peoples traversing the Rhine in 406, and side by side the Quadi, Macromonii, Vandals, and Samaritans in other passages. 6th century authors identified the Suevis of Galicia with the Alemanni, or simply the Germans, whilst the 4th century Lacterculus Verosius mentions some Suebi side by side with Alemanni, Quadi, Macromonii, and the Germanic peoples. Additionally, it has been pointed out that the lack of mention of the Suebi could mean that they were not per se an older, distinct ethnic group, but the result of recent ethnogenesis, which many groups, smaller groups, among them part of the Quadi and the Macromonii, coming together during the migration from the Danube Valley to the Iberian Peninsula. Other groups of the Suevis were mentioned by the Jordanes, and other historians are residing in the Danube region during the 5th and 6th centuries. Although there is no clearly documented reason behind the migration of 405, a widely accepted theory is that the migration of the various Germanic peoples west of the Rhine was due to the westward push of the Huns during the late 4th century, which forced the Germanic peoples westward in response to a threat. This theory was created controversy with the academic community because of the lack of convincing evidence. Whether displaced by the Huns or not, the Suebi, along with the Vandals and Alans, crossed the Rhine on the night of 31 December 405. Their entrance into the Roman Empire was at the moment where the Roman West was experiencing a series of invasions and civil wars between 405 and 406. The western regions of the empire saw the invasion of Italy by the Goths under Radagaisus, who as well was a steady stream of usurpers. This allowed the invading barbarians to enter Gaul with little resistance, consequently allowing for the barbarians to cause a considerable damage to the northern provinces of the Germanic inferior Belgica Prima and Belgica Secunda, before the empire saw them as a threat. In response to the barbarian invasion of Gaul, the usurper Constantine III halted the masses of Vandals, Alans, and Sueves, confining them to northern Gaul. But in the spring of 409, Gerontius led a revolt in Hispania and set up his own emperor, Maximus Constantine, who had recently been elevated to the title of set off to Hispania to deal with the rebellion. Gerontius responded by stirring up the barbarians in Gaul against Constantine, convincing them to mobilize again. And in the summer of 409, the Vandals, Alans, and Suebi began pushing south towards Hispania.